So I have to clarify something about the conversation about bass traps because I was here by myself. I had no backup, right? No
Oh,
backup.
did they corner you into a bass trap?
Well, it was a question that popped up, and I don't do room acoustics, right? I answer to the best of my ability, which was my basically I was just saying you have to have a purpose if you're going to set up these big old bass traps, like something in mind that you're trying to achieve before you don't just go and buy some saying like, oh, I see everybody else has bass traps, maybe I should put some bass traps too, right? So my opinion is more like use other subwoofers, multiple subwoofers as active bass traps. If you have software that can do something like that, then do it. But some of the comments there were like, isn't this for like decay times to improve the decay times for bass? And they were talking about like, that a lot of these are just broadband absorbers, not used to target specific frequencies. I should be clear that when I was talking about the use of bass traps, I had an experience where one of my clients, somebody I was doing calibration for, just got some. They just got bass traps from a well-known source of room treatment, right? And I guess they have this certain, the two of them. They had a certain type of bass trap that really targeted some specific frequency.
Yeah,
it had some sort of membrane.
Mm-hmm.
And so he got this based on recommendations from this company, and basically it just created almost like a null that wasn't there before.
Oh wow, okay.
Like, why would you put those in? Like, now we just have to try to boost that area that took out.
Yeah.
So that was my experience. Like, don't just randomly get room treatment.
I would agree.
That's it.
I agree wholeheartedly, man. I think a lot of people will buy stuff because somebody else told them that they needed to.
Yeah.
And you need to understand your room before you start buying treatments.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Joe, you were here in this room. You said it sounded great, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
but you don't have big ass bass traps, do you?
No. I mean, I got this closet in the corner here. This closet thing, so yeah.
What does this mean though to reduce the decay times? What does that mean for bass?
Isn't that RT60
reducing the decay time for bass? Like, how does that work?
Creates drier bass, right?
Drier bass.
Yeah, man. It doesn't have lag.
It's a drier low bottom end. It's not a wet bottom end.
It's not a flappy bottom end. Yep. These are all things that people will say.
So I just have a hard time visualizing it. I'm not saying it's fake or that it's
no, they
not
work. I mean, I used them in my last house in the clipper room because I had the way that the clipper was set up. It was dead center of the room, which is the worst place you can ever be, is the dead center, because then you're in between every single mode, right? So they all just stack up. Yeah, I mean, they all just stack up. So I had a couple of really strong modal issues that the clipper could kind of see through, if you will, but it caused me to have to do more and more measurements. So anyway, I wound up getting some bass traps. I got some from GIK, and then I got some from ATS Acoustics. And
ATS, they did this guy too.
Yeah, I like ATS Acoustics a lot. The GIK ones were the round ones that were specifically targeted and to absorb a certain frequency range, and I knew what that range was because I had measurements, right? But if you're kind of just buying the stuff blind, then in the example that you just gave, you can actually mess stuff up.
Isn't that what you said with what's his name? The guy that spends a lot of money and switches the speakers out a lot.
Every audio file.
Yeah, that's a lot of them, man. I can't.
No, you do you keep doing remote calibrations for him.
Oh, your customer?
Yeah, no, that's
come on, Fred.
Don't be putting them on blast, but that is what happened.
No. Yeah, but that's you were telling me, right? He got all this room treatment, and you're like, maybe you should take that bass trap out of there.
It just made it worse. Like, I don't get the point of that. That made all the measurements worse.
Yeah.
Make sure to check out our audio-only version of the podcast at anchor.fm/Daily HiFi, or just go to your favorite podcasting service and search for Daily HiFi.